What's good, Digest family? We are back. We are live. What's popping? What's good? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? It's your boy Marcel Martin, the matriarch. Or I'm sorry, the patriarch of this family, and I'm here. I got a special guest. Some of you may know him. If you don't know, now you know. Just to give you a little backstory, when young Marcel had a little baby Digest, little Mavericks Digest was just a baby. The first person to ever reach out and work with your boy, say, "Hey man, I'd love to have you on my pod. We can talk basketball," was the man TGK. Welcome.
Hey, appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad to be here, happy to be here. But kudos to everything you've been doing, man. You've been growing this channel from the ground up, and it's awesome to see where you're at and where you're about to go, man. So appreciate you for having me on, bro.
Of course, man. You know, I never really had another creator on the channel. I did have Grant Afseth on the channel. Did a quick little
Mm.
interview with him, but you're the first actual, like, I guess, YouTube content creator to come to the
Nah.
channel. My first actual collab. You know what I'm saying? But if you didn't see me, I was on Locked On Mavs just the other day with Nick. It was amazing. It was awesome. I'm definitely excited for this upcoming season. TGK. It really does feel like 3 years of summer has been going on instead of just like 3 months, right? It's felt like
3 years.
3 years, bro. It's crazy, man.
It it has. It's been a long summer. Even though like the season went long, like we made the finals. In theory, like it feels like a long time,
Yeah,
but it's actually going to be shorter than a lot of teams. It's a lot longer for other teams,
yeah,
like the Timberwolves, the Thunder.
bro.
Not for us,
Nah,
but it has felt like it's scratching against the whiteboard, So,
it's
but we're here,
crazy.
man. It's almost time.
It's almost time is here. I mean, we could have been teams like the Toronto Raptors. You know, you missed the play-in. Your season was over in like April. So yes, we had a few extra months, right? We were able to go, as far as the finals, and here we are trying to make our way back. So in this little live stream that we got going on, we're gonna be chilling this Friday. Not gonna be too long, but not too short. We're gonna give the people what they want. We're going to look at the schedule, give our own predictions of all 82 games. We're not going to sit here and debate every single game, but we're going to go over, say, win, loss, win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, and just kind of predict for the full season where can we
Mhm.
stand. We're going to take a look at some other things that have been going on in the news, some hot, juicy takes that we're going to debate, as well as I got a few questions for you, TGK, because I feel like there's a lot of things that we agree on, but I feel like there's a lot of things we don't agree on. And I think the people would
Mhm.
like to see where each of us stand on certain topics.
All right, hey, I'm all game, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
All right, all right. So before we get into the schedule and go over the games, what are your thoughts on the offseason moves? How well do you think the Dallas Mavericks did in this offseason?
Honestly, I thought they've done better than what I was expecting. Early on with the whole Clay Thompson pickup, I was quite against it because I thought he was going to cost us around 30 million,
Yeah.
right? And to see the deal that we ended up giving to get him and the money structure that we got him at what 16 mil, you're gonna get you're gonna get the dividends from his performance.
Yep.
At 30 million, I was like, I don't think you're gonna get the return on that investment. And so the fact that we're able to get Clay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters of all time, yes, he's on the twilight end of his career, right? But he still has a little bit of gas left in that tank, and especially where he doesn't have to carry such an offensive load. I feel like this is a great move. Address quite a few issues that we've had,
Hmm.
and if anything, it's going to help Lively a lot. Like a lot of
Yeah.
us are probably looking at it from, oh, we got better shooting. No, it's going to make it easier for everybody because now you're not going to have like two guys say like bumping Lively on the way to the basket because they can't.
Yeah.
They have to stay out there. You can't leave Clay by
Can't leave them
himself, and
open.
if you do, you're gonna pay the price.
Yeah.
With that deal, I thought it was a fantastic deal. I thought the Grimes deal was a extremely smart deal because you needed to open up cap space for Clay Thompson, and by
Yep.
trading Tim Hardaway, you cleared up some cap space, and then the you know the just the wherewithal with Nico Harrison to be able to kind of switch gears. Like, all right, Mister DJJ doesn't want to be with us. Cool, let's go ahead and get Najee. And like just that mindset, or even to see the flip of a switch like that from a GM in Dallas is so refreshing to see someone in ownership in the front office to be able to make a move and be like, you know what, this might be kind of savage, but hey, we got to make this team better. And that sends a massive message not only to us Mavs fans, it says a massive message to the players on the team. Like, damn, he's not playing. Like, all right, we got a team. We got a GM here that's all in with us. And quote unquote for those that live in Dallas, y'all might be y'all might know what I'm referencing with all in, but uh it's refreshing, man. And so I've been very, very, very happy with the offseason so far.
Mhm.
You really have every single piece you need. You don't necessarily have like a weakness at all. Like you literally almost have two starting fives if you want to look at it from that perspective. But the Mavericks, they're ready to go. I think this has been one of the top off seasons in recent memory in my mind, and I loved everything we did.
No, I definitely agree with you. Obviously, over the entirety offseason, I've been reacting to every little thing. I mean, the Mavericks, especially Nico Harrison, couldn't do a single thing without me making a video about it and telling everybody how this changes everything, because it really does, right? And to your point,
Yeah.
about how we pivoted from Derrick Jones Jr. to Najee Marshall was very. I mean, I want to say it was a big move, and I don't want to say it as a big move like, oh my God, getting Najee Marshall will actually help us win multiple championships. What I mean by it was a big move as far as what we see from our GM, right? You remember when we had Mark Cuban riding through Houston trying to find a certain player, right? Or,
Right.
we could have, and honestly, put my tinfoil hat on and just speculate here what probably was going down. You had Clutch Sports and Derrick Jones Jr. trying to work to get just more money for Derrick Jones Jr. But in reality, what it was trying to hold up the Dallas Mavericks, trying to deal with Derrick Jones Jr. So then the Lakers can deal with Klay Thompson, make that a priority. But Nico wasn't falling for it. Wasn't falling for the smoke screen. He was able to quickly pivot. And I mean, I don't know how the turn of events actually went down, but the way I was receiving the reports, we signed Najee Marshall before Derrick Jones Jr. even signed with the Clippers. At least that's how the reports came out. Because I was making a video about us getting Najee Marshall, then literally an hour later, Derrick Jones Jr. signed with the Los Angeles Clippers. So that's good to know that we have a GM who isn't going to play games. I'm not going to sit up here and go back and forth. We have a championship to win. I'm not trying to bring you back so we can make the playoffs. I want to bring you back so we can win. If you're not here to win a championship, if you can't put your own egos to the side, because we know the reason why he went to the Clippers wasn't because of money, because he's making, after taxes, he is making less money going to the Clippers, but he didn't want to come off the bench. And do what's best for you. Obviously, you're not getting paid more because, like I said, taxes and everything. But if you, for your own personal gain, for your own ego or pride, you want to be a starter, go right ahead. I wish you nothing but the best. You were great for us. We got Derrick Jones Jr. on a very, very cheap contract, and he outplayed himself for the entirety of the season. The playoffs is another story. The playoffs, in my opinion, is a reflection of experience and just preparedness. I think to a degree we were prepared, just didn't have the experience, because Luka looked fine in the finals. Obviously, he could have shot better, but he didn't look like, someone who just showed up to the finals for the first time. Kyrie obviously just scared of TD Garden. That's what that is, right? And then PJ and DJ just forgot how to shoot there. So things happened, obviously. So all that to say is that Nico Harrison did a wonderful job of having a vision for this team and not giving up on that vision. For everybody watching, if you go to my channel and go to some of my earliest videos, I made a video all the way at the trade deadline about a report how Nico Harrison was trying to get Quentin Grimes from the New York Knicks. Before he even went to Detroit, he was trying to make a trade for Quentin Grimes. That didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
And then even I want to say it was last offseason, we were trying to get PJ, but the Charlotte Hornets extended him an offer. He had to, no, he was a restricted agent. I'm sorry. So when they gave an offer, he had to take it, right? So we couldn't even get PJ. Everybody that Nico Harrison wants, he will get. Even when we're trying to get Spencer Dinwiddie and he chose the Lakers, guess what? We still got Spencer Dinwiddie. Nico Harrison's ability to not only paint you the picture, but sell you the picture on how he wants this team to be, incredible. I don't know how he didn't win Executive of the Year last year. Maybe he'll win this upcoming year. I truly believe. But it's amazing. And not only the moves are great from Nico Harrison, but also the composure of this team. We are very deep. Obviously, our starting lineup will be Luka, Kyrie, Klay. You got PJ, and you got Derrick Lively. Then coming off the bench, you got Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes. You got Daniel Gafford. And then after that, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, Daniel Gafford. You can put in Spencer Dinwiddie. I truly believe that Spencer Dinwiddie will actually play a significant role on this team. But if we don't go to Spencer Dinwiddie right away, we got Jane Hardy, we got Dante Exum, Maxi Kleber, if you're nasty, right? If you really want to get spicy with it, you know what I mean? So it's like we are fairly deep. And then with our lineup because everyone's been saying it. Should Klay come off the bench? Should we do whatever with Klay Thompson? Right? There's a lot of people that are talking about where does Klay Thompson actually fit in our rotation. Klay Thompson coming off the bench isn't that bad of an idea if you pair him with Spencer Dinwiddie in the bench role, coming off the bench against other teams' second units. If you have a Klay Thompson and a Spencer Dinwiddie playing the exact same role as a Luka Doncic and a Kyrie Irving, just with the second unit, that's 1A, 1B, right? I think that's great. So the roster from start to finish is very good. We got rid of dead weight and Tim Hardaway Jr., who likes to throw up a lot of shots and just play absolutely zero defense. I'm gonna miss the tenacity. I'm gonna miss the tenacity, just the hustle from Josh Green. I truly am. But his defense was also bad. He was horrible, just going around screens. If you got Josh Green on you, just call a screen. Go around that. Josh Green's lost. Get that man a map.
Yeah, he did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
he did get lost out there.
It is what it is. I mean,
it hit with a screen. It's like, equilibrium is off.
The man's like, you hit his shoulder. He's like, I'm stuck. I can't move. Like, boy, if you don't just move. So anyway, we were able to improve on all fronts. And even though the betting odds say that before free agency, we have the exact same odds to win the finals, even after free agency, is just wild to me. And one thing I've always said, man, is you can't tell them, you got to show them. And I think this is a nice little segue to go into the schedule. And we're going to give these guys, we're going to let the chat also kind of help us decide what games do we win versus what games do we lose. TGK, I don't know if you got a pen or pencil or if you could on your phone keep track of our win-loss. And at the end of it, we'll see what record do we actually give the Dallas Mavericks. Now, obviously, in a vacuum, we clear a lot of these teams. Not worried about them at all. It's a cakewalk. Cool. But we can put a little bit of nuance. We can talk about, well, late in the season, if we're seeing this team for the third time in a back-to-back, we may lose. We could briefly speak on it. I don't want to take this to a 5-hour video where we debate all 82 games, right?
Yeah.
But here we go. Let me go ahead and pull up the schedule.
I don't know what Zoom did, but it blacked out my whole laptop. So as long as you can still see me, we're good. We're good.
They got you. You're still there. That beautiful face, that curly hair. Also, really quick, TGK, how was Mexico? Was it Cancun?
Cancun, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was how would I put it, man? This is my 6th time going. Very blessed to say that I've gone 6 times, but every time I go, it's just a great time, man. For those that have never gone, you need advice or whatever the case may be, hit me up. But it's just paradise over there, man. It's so beautiful, very humid, but extremely beautiful over there for sure. So I had a great time.
That's what's up, man. I'm currently working on my passport. I'm gonna be doing some traveling in this upcoming next year and the year after. So eventually, I'll have to make my way down to Cancun eventually. But
yeah, you got to, man. You got to. It's like the rite of passage North America. You got to hit up Cancun. All the players do. You got to as well.
Exactly. But here we go. So on my video that dropped yesterday where we reacted to the schedule dropping, some significant dates, predictions, we're going to quickly look at the first 10 games and just go from there. First 10 games, we play the Spurs, the Suns, the Jazz, the Timberwolves, the Rockets, the Magic, the Pacers, the Bulls, the Suns again, and then Denver. That's the first 10. I said probably at worst we go maybe 7-3. I think we definitely lose to the Pacers just because it's just the pace, right? The Pacers play with a lot of pace. They play very fast. They will shoot the ball nonstop. And I think Klay Thompson may struggle keeping up with a team like that. I think that we may not match them speed-wise. So I'll give the Pacers credit. We may lose to them, at least in the first matchup. Maybe later in the season when the team starts to gel a little bit better, we may be able to play with, play against faster teams. But I say we lose to the Pacers. Seeing the Phoenix Suns twice in the first 10 games, we may lose one, even though I would love to just spank the Suns every time we see them. But I'll give him credit. Let's say KD has an amazing game and Booker remembers that he's a basketball player and we do lose one. And then I'm going to give Denver credit because you still have Nikola Jokic. You can't underestimate him. I mean, I know I'm about to say DeJounte Murray. Oh, my God. I know Jamal Murray did not play that well in the Olympics for Canada. He did not look that well, but I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's washed. Like, I know better than that. So I'm gonna continue to give the proper credit to Denver that they are a team that we should be worried about. And so with that, I say the first 10 games we go 7-3. At the worst, at the best, I say 8-2. So only a difference of one game. But what do you think?
Let me see. So we got San Antonio at home on primetime television, TNT. I still got us, even though I think they'll be a little bit better, especially with the Avatar being a lot better. Against the Suns on the road, that's Luka's second home. Like he's gonna dominate there. Against the Jazz, I feel like you're back at home. The Mavericks should handle business there. They dunked on them all last season. I don't think
Yeah.
they improved the team much this year. Against the Timberwolves, that might be a revenge game for them because it's at their home. It might mean a lot more for them to beat the Mavs,
Yeah.
but a healthy Luka, they haven't seen a healthy Luka. Like in the playoffs, they did not see a healthy Luka. So if they see a healthy Luka, it might be difficult for them. But I can see the Timberwolves getting one just off of the revenge factor. So what I got them at 3-1 so far.
Yeah.
Against the Rockets, the Magic, and the Pacers at home. The Pacers is a back to back, so that's a good point right
Yeah.
there. In addition to that, so 6-2. Oh no, 5-2. I can see us at 5-2 at that point. Let me make sure. No 7, no 1. So
Math.
3-1. Yeah.
Hey, it's Friday.
Five and
We
yeah,
are already
five and
home
two.
from work, man. We
Uh,
gotta worry about math.
yeah, yeah. We'll beat the Bulls and then we'll beat the Suns again. And honestly, I don't think the Nuggets are that much better of a team than they were last year.
Okay.
And last year we got destroyed by them in the Cup games, like in the NBA Cup games or the in-season tournament that they
Yeah.
called it last year. So I think the Mavericks owe it to themselves to try a little
Yeah.
bit more in these Cup games and I don't. Yeah, that's a Cup game. So they got to make up for last year and losing to them in the Cup game. So I'll say I'll go on a limb and say 8-2, man. I'll say 8-2.
Yeah, I don't think it's too crazy to say 8-2. I see some people in the chat arguing with our take about the Pacers, saying though like why would we lose to the Pacers? Well, I'm gonna just say last season we saw them twice. We won one and lost one. So I say that could easily happen again.
I
And
thought we
then
lost both.
no, we
I think we
beat
lost.
them. No, so we smacked them up the first time. We beat them 127 to 104. And then the
Oh,
second time it was a close game. We lost 124 to 122. But both games, for the most part, are pretty high scoring games. I'm pulling up right now. In the third quarter, we dropped like 40 points, right? In the first game that we beat them. In that game, Tim Hardaway Jr. had 13 points. Kyrie only had 16. That was also when we had Dwight Powell starting in that game. We won with Dwight Powell, right? And we
yeah.
Hold on, am I looking at the right year? Yeah, okay, because I saw Reggie Bullock's name. I'm like, what year was this? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I think
Wait
we
a
lost
minute,
them
I'm
last
tripping.
year.
Google done lied to me. I am tripping. Let me find last year. Why did it's showing me the wrong year?
Yeah,
Hold on.
I think we lost.
Oh, I lost you.
Stuff like prior to the Miami Heat game where we were just losing
Okay.
like on a 5-6
Okay.
game losing streak.
They beat us twice.
And then
They beat us twice.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
they beat us
tripping.
twice.
Okay, yeah, so
Oh, you good.
like I said, I'm sorry. Yeah, people in chat, they're correcting me. My fault. I had the wrong year pulled up. So they beat us twice. The first time, it was 137 to 120. That's a high scoring game. We lost by 17 points. Our highest score of that game was obviously Luka with 39. Kyrie had 23. PJ had 20. Daniel had 16 and 10 off the bench. Derrick Lively only played 15 minutes and had 0 points, 0 assists, and 1 rebound. I'm not sure if he left the game early or because that was in March, so I'm not sure if that's when he had a minor injury. Then,
Daniel Gafford wasn't getting minutes either at that time.
Yeah, so that was the second time. The first time we played them was in February 25th. We lost 111 to 133. So again, 20 plus points we are losing to the Pacers. We did it twice last year. And in that game, Luka was our leading scorer with 33. Kyrie had 29. Then we had Josh Green with 14, and Tim off the bench had 11. We did have PJ starting. That was right after the trade deadline, right? So he only had 2 points. But let's all remember that PJ Washington played very great defense when we first got him. That was kind of like his thing. He really was struggling with scoring the ball, but he always played good defense. And then Derrick Lively only playing 14 minutes, had 4 points, 3 rebounds. And Daniel Gafford off the bench had 8 points, 5 rebounds. So now taking all that into account and trying to predict for this year's matchup with the Pacers, all they really did was maintain. They didn't really add any big name player. They didn't have to, right? They just had to just re-sign everybody and bring them back. You can make the case if we're better or worse defensively. That's whatever. That's to be seen, obviously. But offensively, I think we're better. So maybe we can keep up with them because they're also not that great of a defensive team. We are a better defensive team than the Pacers. We can agree on that. The Pacers will just outscore you. That's why all of their games last year were such high-scoring games because, like, we'll try on defense, but we're going to make sure our offense is the most efficient offense ever, right? So I think now we do get one off. I think we may lose the first one, but the second time we play them, I definitely do believe that we will beat them.
Yeah, we
So
could easily go 9-1 in the first 10, and this is kind of look at the Mavericks highly. Like
mhm.
I'm not looking at the Mavericks as like some scrub team this
No.
upcoming season. Like they should be competing for like the top seed in the West. Like that's how good they are, considering who Luka is, who Kyrie is, Clay, the pedigree, championship pedigree that he brings, and the rising potential of Derrick Lively. Like there's so much
Yeah.
that the Mavericks have to offer, but the Pacers angle. I think the idea of Spencer Dinwiddie being here, it
Yeah.
not only helps the Mavericks so much from an offensive perspective, you won't get that big fall off from someone unable to create offense,
Mm.
as opposed to when Luka would go to the bench and then Exum would come in and be Luka's, replacement as the point guard.
Yeah.
You won't have the fall off if you have Spencer Dinwiddie coming in. He knows the offense. He plays an offensive style like Luka in a way because he's almost as tall as him.
Right.
So you're able to kind of keep the Luka offense going whenever Luka is sitting. So if anything, you're able to still keep your offense engaged and be able to keep up with teams. It's just going to come down to defense against the Pacers. But I can see 8-2 or 9-1 for sure in those first 10.
Yeah, I think the key for many teams, right, is not just the
Mm-hmm.
Pacers, but for many teams, the key to our defense will be our perimeter defense. So Clay will have to be an important defender. I'm not worried about what Gafford or Derrick Lively will do down low. Even if we put Maxey at the 5. Yes, you have Miles Turner. That's totally fine. I'm more concerned with how our wings and how Kyrie will be able to guard like Tyrese Halliburton, right? You also got Obi Toppin, so PJ, that's your guy, right? They've got a lot of good young talent. I think TJ McConnell's still there. I'm pretty sure TJ McConnell going to get a statue in Indiana. I'm pretty sure he is Mr. Pacers,
Yeah,
right?
man can defend. Yep.
And it's crazy too because TJ McConnell is such an underrated player in my opinion. He is so dang good, but the Pacers got him on a discount or something. They got a coupon for life, like.
Yeah.
You're going to be
hometown discount.
Yeah,
Hometown
you are
discount.
coming off the bench and you're going to be a baller for us, but you're never leaving, right? So the Pacers, like a few other teams that we will talk about, it's all about our perimeter defense, and I'm not too worried about our interior. But so we can both agree 8-2. So we're going to start with that. With the first 10 games, we will go 8-2. After that, we see the Golden State Warriors. That will be our first time seeing them in the season. It is going to be on November 12th. It's against Klay Thompson's former team, a little revenge game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be in Golden State. So,
Mm.
how do you think Klay Thompson will perform in his first game back?
Man, Clay's an emotional guy. Like this game is gonna mean a lot to him.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on TNT. It's gonna be the game of the night at 8 p.m. 9 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, it's the game of the night. Damn, that's tough. Honestly, because I don't think the Warriors are gonna be that good this upcoming season, and obviously Clay is one of those guys that when he feels wronged, like he's gonna play with that edge.
Mm-hmm.
And the Warriors, they're not gonna be able to sell out and just double Clay or whatever the case may be. Like I don't think their game plan is gonna be to stop Clay. You're gonna have to go stop Kyrie and Luka, and Clay is just gonna get open shots. And I think the Mavericks know they're gonna know to get him involved early and often. So I think he's gonna have a good game, honestly.
Yeah.
He's back. He'll be back in a arena that he knows how to shoot at,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he'll have a good game, especially prime time. He's
Yeah.
he's not one guy that shies away from a moment, even though
No.
yes, we could talk about 0 for 10. It is what it is. He was already disgruntled at that time.
Exactly.
This time you're coming in with a brand new team, new motivation. You if he can't get up for a game against his old team, then we have bigger problems. So, but I think he's gonna do pretty good.
I agree. I personally want to believe that he will do good. Like I said, it's one of our 30 televised games gonna be on TNT. So
wait. Hold on, let me ask you: Do you count NBA TV as nationally televised?
nationally televised, baby.
Yeah.
Hey.
I don't.
Hey, the
Because
lights have never been
reason
brighter. The lights have never been brighter.
the reason I don't, right? Because
Yeah.
they say all like the primetime games,
Mhm.
they'll have a day off in between.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah. Some of the NBA TV games, like they're on back to backs.
they are. Yeah.
So
I mean,
I don't count them as like.
I
primetime
think
games.
they count as far as like money wise because I know that there were. I think it was
Mm.
NBA Finals they were putting on like YouTube TV, right? So that was kind of like their
Mm.
way of like, oh, this kind of works, right? So regardless, right?
Yeah.
So Klay Thompson will be back November 12th in Golden State up against his former team. Obviously, they know Klay very well, so they'll already know how to defend him. But to your point, and I will agree with you, we have to get him going early. I think we have to feed Clay, get him in his rhythm. We already know Luka will find his. Kyrie will get his later in the game as always. Everybody just follow in. And we'll be good. I think the key to that is obviously just our wing defenders, but also making sure we can score down low. Because the Warriors don't ever play big. If I have to see Draymond Green at the 5, Daniel Gafford, Derrick Lively, who wants him? I mean, I got a lot of respect for Draymond Green, but he's not the same Draymond Green from 2016. This man is another year older. He's probably going to foul you, so go in there. And I trust, and after what I saw in the playoffs, I trust Derrick Lively at the line. I really do. If you want to foul him, go right ahead. But
Yeah.
Golden State, yeah, put that down as a dub. We then go see Utah on the 14th, dub. They got Lauri Markkanen. They still got Colin Sexton, and they have John Collins. It's a very weird thing going on over there in Houston, but I believe that's a dub. We see San Antonio again. I say a dub. Then we see Oklahoma on the 17th.
Ooh, cup game too.
Yeah, that's a cup game.
That if there's an argument to be made that there is a team better in the Mavericks in the West,
It's the Thunder.
you have a very valid argument when it comes to the Thunder. Like
Yeah.
if we're going to be unbiased here, let's be unbiased.
Yeah.
They improved their team. Now, I'm not saying that, if you gun to my head, right? No, I'm picking the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks are still better, but you have a very valid argument to say the Thunder are the better team. You're playing in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
cup game.
Mhm.
Yeah, that might be an L for sure, almost
Yeah.
a guaranteed one, just off of semantics, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you're saying. I'll also put that down as a loss. I think our first matchup with OKC, we will lose, and I got a hot take. People may not like it, but I think that we will lose more than we'll win against the Thunder in the regular season. So if we see them 4 times, I think we go like 1-3. I still believe in a series, in a best of 7, we are better than the Thunder. But random sporadic games throughout the season on our schedule, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we also have to put respect on the fact that they do have Alex Caruso. They have Alex Caruso now.
And also, playoff basketball is completely different. Like playoff basketball benefits a team like the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic, whereas in a regular season, the Thunder are obviously going to have the upper hand. The defense isn't going to be 1,000% engaged. This is the NBA. This is the modern league, right? And that is what comes with it. But they're also extremely young. They got so many first-round draft picks over there.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just a crappy team, but they're a good team. I still think the Mavericks are better, but in some realms of this universe, they could be considered a better team than the Mavericks. But that's why we play the games, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Oklahoma City is not the cup game. It's the next one, the New Orleans Pelicans. That's the cup game.
I see on here that
the
both
asterisk.
of them are cup games.
Is it? Because I'm looking at I'm not sure which schedule you're looking at, because the one I have has an asterisk next to New Orleans.
I'm on the website and they got cup right under both of them.
The website's wrong. I don't know who's running it. They're fired. Nah, but yeah, because someone in the chat says we see Denver, New Orleans, Warriors, and Memphis for the cup. At least for like the seeding preliminary, the 4 games that we play.
Oh, okay.
But Oklahoma, I still think that we probably do lose the first one. We may lose 2 or 3 of them. But the next game is the Pelicans, and even though they do have DeJounte Murray, they have a player who can facilitate the offense better than what they've been doing because they have a lot of weapons. Let's assume fully healthy Pelicans, right? You got Brandon Ingram, who's still very good. You got Zion Williamson, who, when he's healthy, is one of the better players in the league. They've got a lot of guys. They got Herb. They got Herb over there. Herbert. You know what I mean? Got Herb. Yeah. So like they got good players, and I think DeJounte Murray definitely does kind of connect the dots of all these players, right? As what a point guard does. But I still think that we can beat them. I put that down as a dub.
Yeah. What center do they got? Can you think of one?
Well, they lost Jonas Valanciunas. So, let me see. Pelicans roster.
Yeah. Look it up. What center they got?
Yves Missy.
And Gafford.
Yves Missy, Trey Jameson.
Yup.
Sound like some generated mod players.
Like 2029.
Daniel Tice.
Or Tiss.
Tice. I thought it was Daniel Tice. Daniel Tice.
Tice.
I know sometimes when they want to get spicy, they'll throw Zion at the 5 just because he's strong. But Zion
Zion ain't gonna stop a pick and roll.
No. No.
Like that, like they're in trouble. Like I looked at them and I was like, oh, they don't have a center, like no center at all. Like it's wraps. Unless they play small ball, we can play small ball too with Lively. So
Yeah.
like go ahead. Like I don't think the Pelicans are gonna be that good this upcoming season.
I feel like if the Pelicans are healthy, I think they'll probably get it together towards the end of the season. But the beginning of the season is gonna be rough for a lot of teams, especially when you have a lot of core changes. And changing your point guard is a big change when he's a more competent point guard. But I think that we beat New Orleans. After that, we see Denver, and that's a cup game, and I say we win. I say at this point in the season, we're about 15 plus games in. We are starting to feel ourselves. We beat Denver. That's just my take on that.
I mean, it is ESPN. It is another night game,
Yeah.
another primetime game. I ain't mad at it. I mean, you're gonna say we beat Denver twice already in Denver. I
mean, I said we lost.
That would be great.
I said we lose
That
to
would be
Denver
great,
first,
right?
but we got to come back. We got to come back.
I'm thinking we were gonna beat them in the first round, but all right. At some point, we gotta take an L. You know,
eventually, we can't say we go 82-0, right?
Yeah, we can't. You know, yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Wait up. Well, when is?
So
19th,
we got 3 days. We got 3 days off before we see Denver after the Pelicans.
Yeah.
It's a late game. It's a late game.
I like our chances.
yeah. Like, why not? Yeah. By then, by then MPJ's back is already sore, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after, what's up?
Now this one, the Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Time, flying all the way to the East Coast
back to Miami.
Yeah, that one might be the win, but then the Atlanta on the back-to-back, that one might be tough.
I'd
just
argue
for the simple fact with the travel.
See, I'd argue that we go on a nice little win streak. I say we beat Denver. We make the long trip to Miami. We see some beaches, some palm trees, and we get a nice little dub. You know what I'm saying? And then we just take a nice little bus ride up north to Atlanta. And who do they have? They have Trae Young. They don't have DeJounte Murray. Okay, they have a couple other guys over there. And off the top of your head, TGK, who was the player that they drafted with the first pick?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that because he's bad. I'm just saying this past draft, there's a lot of players I don't know their names. I just don't know.
I don't even know the first round pick name. Like that's how bad it is.
I know Alex Sarr went to Washington. That's about it.
Wait up, shouldn't he have been drafted to the Atlanta?
He refused to work out with Atlanta, so that's why they went with someone else. Like I think he really did not want to go to the Hawks. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah. I just don't have any faith in the Hawks. And again, Luka dropped how many points against Atlanta?
Big 7-3.
Come on. He dropped the big ones.
So, then the next game after that's pretty good. Where are we at on this? Is this 10 games? Hold on.
So 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're at 18 games. And how many losses do we have, TGK? We keep a count.
I say 2 so far.
Only
but no,
2?
we only have 1 loss, and that's to the Thunder. But I would have said 2.
Because we started out 8-2. We started out 8-2. And then in the next 8 games.
Yeah. The Thunder one for sure would be the loss that I would say.
The Thunder
I'm leaning on the Nuggets game, but I think we could get them. But the Thunder for sure would probably be an L.
So we go 15-3. First 18, 15-3.
First 18, 15-3. Yeah.
15-3, okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, that's number 1 seed right there.
That sounds pretty good. And of course, this is just us,
spitballing,
banking on the fact that there's health, that we are in good health, that there's no locker room issues, that everything's working the way it should. Obviously, you can't really predict for things that you just don't know. But
we might end up losing to Atlanta. We might beat the Thunder, then lose to the Spurs both times. It could be one of those seasons. We could lose to the Phoenix Suns both times because now they actually have a point guard.
Sure.
Any of those things can happen, but if we're grading the team on what we believe them to be, which I think we both agree they're the best in the West, you shouldn't be losing to those other teams. But, it is NBA, and that's why they play the games.
It's a make or miss league, as they say. Yep. But on November 27th, it's a Wednesday at 6:30. I feel like it's a good finals game. We're not going to be playing against the Boston Celtics, but we're up against a team that could also make the finals, with all due respect. The New York Knicks. Now, they went out and spent not just one bag, but multiple bags just to get McCall Bridges.
Multiple.
Just to get
Yeah.
McCall Bridges, right? So, okay. If OG Anunoby is healthy, it gives us problems. But even with the healthy OG, I'll throw Najee Marshall on him just to hold him down. I think Najee Marshall could easily just contain OG. I think either Kyrie or Dinwiddie on Brunson. Not saying Dinwiddie can lock down Brunson, just that's who I throw on Brunson, right? They don't have Hartenstein anymore. So they're going to be relying more on Mitchell Robinson, and they did get another big. I think. Did they replace him? Hold on. New York Knicks. Who did they replace Hartenstein with?
Wish I had a laptop available. I could
help. All good. I got like 3 monitors. I got you.
Oh.
Well, I got 2. I'm waiting for a third one. But, okay, let's look at the roster. Okay, so how do you say, do you say Mikal Bridges or McCall Bridges? Because I get clowned every time I say this man's name. How's it pronounced?
I thought it was Micah Bridges, but asking me to pronunciate names is not the thing over here. I went to DISD school with none but substitute teachers, so don't ask me.
Bro, I get flamed every time I talk about Maxey because I don't mispronounce his name on purpose. My brain, when I'm recording, I see it's spelled Kleber. I say Kleber. I know it's Kleba. I know, and I apologize, and I feel bad because I don't want to disrespect anybody. But
how you say Luka's name? Let me hear it.
Luka. Oh man, I'm thinking about it. Luka Doncic.
Oh
no! How do you pronounce it?
It goes Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic. Oh my
god. Like Don Cheech. Like Cheech and Chong?
Yeah.
Doncic.
Luka Doncic. Oh Lord. Oh my gosh. See, if I ever meet him, I gotta make sure I say it right because I'm pretty sure he'd be like, "Who is this guy?"
Trust me. Back in the day when I was doing like the Luka rookie content back in the day, I was saying Luka Doncic. You know, like how not Doncic like
Stephen A. Smith.
Or him and others the way they pronounce it, but Slovenia will let you know.
Oh yeah.
So I did like this whole video, and I brought friends on to kind of say how they would say it, and man, it was hilarious video. But it's Doncic after a lot of practice and research. Doncic.
And that's the beauty of the Dallas Mavericks being so multicultural is that we got players from all over, and unfortunately, I can't pronounce none of their names. I can say Dwight Powell, he's Canadian, but I can say Dwight Powell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Dwight Powell.
Right. So with the Knicks, they don't have Isaiah Hartenstein. They did bring back Precious Achiuwa, who is only 6'8", but they do play him at the 5. Precious Achiuwa, in my opinion, being a Raptors fan as well, he did look better in the New York system as a small 5, right? But I'm still not worried about him up against Derrick Lively or Daniel Gafford. I'm really not. So they have some 22-year-old named Ariel Huckporty. Don't know who he is. They have Mitchell Robinson at 7 foot. They have Jericho Sims at 6'10", and then they got Jacob Toppin at 6'8". So yeah, our bigs are going to feast. At least they're going to have to. We're going to have to run a lot of pick and roll and just work on our inside game. The wings are going to have a little bit of trouble with Mikal Bridges. Someone let me know in the chat. Thank you so much. Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges.
Him and OG on the wing is going to be terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you. We have to make sure we keep PJ and Quentin Grimes or Najee on the court at all times when they're on the court. But this is going to be a revenge game for Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes was on a nice little trajectory. He had a nice little path for himself, in his first 2 seasons in New York. He was looking good. That one game where Luka dropped like 60 on him, he dropped like 40. Quentin Grimes was looking pretty good in New York before they wanted to go Villanova Knicks, right? Before the New York Knicks, they're now the Nova Knicks. So that could be a nice little revenge game for him.
Well, that too. Like if you remember the 60, 21, and 11 game, if I remember correctly, Quentin Grimes had a good game. No, that was Emmanuel Quickly. Emmanuel Quickly had hella assists because what's the other player? RJ Barrett. I think he got injured. Luka cut his hand or something like that with his nail, and then Emmanuel Quickly took over. And I think Quentin Grimes had a decent game too. But there's gonna be a big one, man. It's a big game. It's New York. It's Dallas. If we ever had a New York and Dallas NBA Finals, that's like if the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl. Like that's the type of like you have the top media
Yeah.
market in the world, and you probably have the third, the fourth media market, both in the finals. Like that's massive. So, but these games are always like intertwined. Like finally, we're done with the Kristaps Porzingis trade, so they don't
Yeah.
have any more of our picks, but we're always going to be connected to them because of the Tim Hardaway trade, because they took Brunson, because
Yeah.
we take their players. Somehow, it's like that's like Dallas East, and we're the
Yeah.
Dallas Mavericks. Yeah,
No, you're absolutely
that's how I
right.
look at it.
The
They're not the New
Knicks.
York Knicks. They're the Dallas East. That's what I call
Exactly, exactly. They're the Mavericks Part Two. Mavericks Part Two because they couldn't be number
them. Yeah,
one.
my
But they also have Julius Randle, right? So again, we're just assuming health isn't a factor in this. It'll be a gritty game. But in our first matchup, I'll give it to the Knicks. I'll say we lose that one.
We're gonna lose at home.
I say we will.
Ooh.
I say we will.
Well, the fact that Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kyrie beat the Knicks without Luka, and they had a center in Harkenstein and all that, I'll take the Mavs in that one.
Okay.
I'll take the Mavs because I think a lot of the matchups are going to come down to what their center is, and is their center going to make our center have to like work and look less than, and if they can, then teams like the Nuggets have a chance, right? But I don't see anybody on the Knicks making it difficult for either of our centers. So if that's the case, easy buckets, right? What happens when you get easy buckets? They bring more attention to the centers. What happens there? They leave the wings and corners wide open. What happens there? Now they're just in recovery, damage control mode, and they can't catch up. So I think the Mavericks will be able to take the Knicks in that first game at home for sure.
I just feel like it's going to be a very interesting defensive matchup because they're going to be scrambling to keep up with us, especially if we have Luka, Kyrie, and Clay all in the court. It's like, you better have your best defenders ready. We are going to shoot this ball as many times as we want, and we have options down low when necessary. On the other side of the ball, they're going to be very gritty. Like Klay Thompson, you're going to have to defend Julius Randle most likely. If not, we're going to put PJ on him, right? And then you're going to have to probably guard OG, and then there's Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not really too worried about Mitchell Robinson, but I feel like our defense up against them will be very gritty. We'll have to really fight. It'll be scrappy. Their defense against us is, can you keep up? That's the only thing. Can you keep up with the Dallas Mavericks? But you say we win that. I say I'll give respect to the Knicks that they may be able to squeak one out. But after that, just 3 days later, we're in Utah. And again, I say we get a dub.
Yeah, dub for sure. Yeah. You got to. You got to get these easy dubs. You have to capitalize on them. 1,000%.
And then after that, going to December 1st, we see Portland. And honestly, I don't see Portland being good for quite some time. I don't know where Scoot Henderson is on his development. He actually spent some time in the G League last year, his rookie year. He spent some time in the G League. So, didn't really impress a lot of people. I say it's a cakewalk. I say we rest Clay and Kyrie.
Yeah, I say too, because I don't want to get them hurt. Like, do you really want to see Portland?
Just rest them.
Like, Portland caused all of our injuries last year. It is the 1st of December too. It should be a win. I'm just always concerned playing against them now because they've been like a Achilles heel as far as like causing injuries to us. But no, the Mavericks should win that game
easily. After that is Memphis, another big one, fully healthy.
I might have a hot take here.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Memphis Grizzlies gonna make the playoffs, man. And Ja Morant is
hold on.
Whoa.
1 through 6, or maybe playing. Like they'll be a top 6.
No, they're gonna be top 6.
Oh, continue.
Yeah. I mean, Steven Adams should be back. Desmond Bane should have been drafted by the Mavericks. And then they got a lot of, good. How would I say, role players that complement the entire team there. But Ja Morant is, while he is still in his athletic prime, because that is what he really depends on, just that pure athleticism. He's a special talent. He's him, man. I could see us. The Maverick, look, man, this is tough because Luka dominates the Grizzlies. Dominates them every time, even when they were good. We should win, but it's like at a certain point, like we got to get an L somewhere, and we got to be realistic here. I think the Grizzlies could probably get us in a cup night, especially just for the sake of it. So I'll give one to the Grizzlies.
I'll give it to the Grizzlies too, just to put some respect on that team. I think Ja Morant is the X factor for that team because when he's gone, they look so bad. But when he's there, kind of like what I said with DeJounte Murray for the Pelicans, he connects the dots. Like, you got players here, here, and here, but let me bring it all together. John Morant, he really does bring it all together. He also, in a sense, has that same level of gravity that Luka Doncic has. So he's getting their best defender. So you've got Desmond Bane, you got even Jarrett Jackson Jr. and other guys that are able to look better because they're not getting the majority of the defensive pressure. But also, Jarrett Jackson Jr. is strange. He won Defensive Player of the Year that one year. Yeah. Was it last year or the year before? I think it was
year before.
He's not that good of a defender. If you look at his advanced defensive stats, it's very weird. Yeah. He is not.
It is.
He's not. It's very weird. So, does Derrick Lively come out on top over Jarrett Jackson Jr. next year when we see them?
I think so. And I only think the reason thought Jaren Jackson was really good that one year is because he had Steven Adams protecting him.
Yeah.
Last year, you didn't have him or John Morant to be able to kind of bring out your talents as far as being able to have wide open threes because he shoots them at a decent clip. Then you didn't have any protection at the rim with you. And he's a great shot blocker, but you got to have people to slow down offensive weapons to get good blocks, right?
Right.
And a lot of the time last year, he didn't have a team last year. So I think we'll see a better Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm very high on his potential, but he doesn't rebound like that. And I think that's the edge that Derrick Lively will get him just on sheer length and ability. I think Derrick Lively will get him for sure.
It's very interesting.
But he's good. He's good though.
You're not wrong. And I'm trying to look at like the last few players that won Defensive Player of the Year and like what their defensive rating was. I'm trying to see like where he stacked with all these other players, and for whatever reason, I'm not seeing anything past 2006. But anyway, won't worry about that. But to your point, yes, Steven Adams definitely does change things. But thanks to the chat, I see you guys. I'm sorry. We forgot Steven Adams is not on the Grizzlies anymore. He's on the Rockets.
Oh, he's not.
He's on the Rockets.
My fault, y'all. Let me take a shot while I'm
Go ahead.
Who's that backup?
Let me pull it up, and I hope that's a shot of water. Everybody, TGK, drink water.
Oh, my fault.
Drink water.
Oh yeah, drink water. My fault.
You know how I do. Yeah. It's a nice bottle of water. It's a nice bottle of water.
It is. It's a red bottle. It looks nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
No, I can't drink that anyway. I got a tournament tomorrow, so.
Oh, don't worry. We'll let the people know about that too. So for the Memphis Grizzlies, they have Zach Edey. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh god, yeah. Oh, they got Zach Edey. Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. Okay, so that changed things. I think we lose this one. I think we lose this one. I don't know if we have the girth for Zach Edey. You know what I'm saying? Like, pause. No Diddy, but I don't think we got the girth for Zach Edey. Ooh.
We could find a way offensively, but. Well, we got to see how he plays in the NBA, but
they also have another 7-footer though. They have 3 7-footers. Okay, so Jaren Jackson Jr. is actually 6'10". At least he's listed as 6'10". Yeah. I thought he was a 7-footer, but he's listed as 6'10". Yeah. He's listed as a power forward as well. But they have Zach Edey at 7'4", and they got some other guy named Jay Huff at 7'1". We only have one 7-footer. Well, Jamarian Sharp, if you want to okay. Do we put in Jamarian Sharp?
No, hell no. No, don't do that, man. Don't do that to him.
Hey, like, go get Zach Edey, huh?
Yeah, go.
Get your chest caved in.
Go jump on every single pump fake.
Oh my god.
And get cooked for me, please. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh my god, yeah. So,
man, if we see Sharp out there, consider that a Sharp L, man. Like
we already gave up.
We already gave up. Waving the white flag.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that first match against the Grizzlies, I think it'll be a learning lesson. I think it'll be something that we're not expecting. I say it's a loss. And it's cup game, yeah, we lose that one. You have to understand that also, and for everybody watching as well, I think one thing that we have to understand is there will be growing pains because it's not like we just got Klay Thompson and we're just integrating him. We also are integrating like 3 other players into the rhythm. Kind of like how it took PJ a while to get into his own rhythm when he joined the team. Yep, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. But yeah, so like how Quentin Grimes how PJ Washington had to get his feet wet for a little bit before he really fell into his role with this team. Mm-hmm. I think we have to give the same grace to Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes. And going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, this is probably like what? This is actually how many games in? This is 25 games in. This will be our 26th game. I say we lose this one. I say we lose.
Well, one of our 4 losses.
One of our it's
Yeah,
cool. It's cool. It's
cool. Go
cool.
ahead. You can have one.
But let me see here.
Nah,
1,
but
2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
that's
19, 20.
hilarious. The schedule gets interesting.
So I'm sorry, that's 22. I'm tripping. Why do I have 16 and 9 on my phone? Oh, so that's
Uh,
16 and 4. 16 and 4. First 22 games, 16 and 4. I'm still fine with that.
and you're
After
the
that,
number one seed.
yeah, and you are easily the number 1 seed. And now, the next game against the deadly Washington Wizards. Oh,
Dub,
dub.
dub,
Dub. Don't even got to talk about it.
dub.
Don't even got to talk about it. That's a dub. That is a dub. And then we see the Toronto Raptors. Now, if this was last
Dub.
year, I'm like, man, they're going through a lot right now. They have a first-time head coach in Darko Rajakovic, first time being a head coach. You've got a bunch of new guys that all got traded there that don't know what they're doing. But they got a summer. The team's been kind of shaped. Some players didn't make the cut after the summer. They got a more centralized roster. Not saying they're going to be a lottery team next year. They could easily be a 6th through 8th, maybe even 6th through 9th seed. But I still think we are better than the Toronto Raptors, even though they have Scotty Barnes, they have Emmanuel Quickley, and RJ Barrett. That is a pretty good 3-headed monster if you can make it work. They've got some decent role players. I'd say Jaden Hardy is better than their 6-man. I will say that. Their 6-man, Jaden Hardy is better. Yes. Yes. But I think that's a dub. Not to think too hard on that. I do think that's a dub. And then after that, we go into the NBA Cup December 10th to the 17th. We have the NBA Cup. So at this point, we are 18 and 4. If I'm doing my math right, we see the Clippers.
After the Cup.
After the Cup, we see the Clippers, and I say that's a dub. You don't have Paul George.
We got them back to back. We got a home at home back to back against the Clippers. The last time we were in this situation, I think it happened 2 seasons ago. Luka dropped 50 in the first game and beat them. And then Luka dropped about 44, almost got to 50 in the second game and lost. I'm not saying this is the same Clippers because they're not. I think in certain aspects they are far worse than they were last year. The Mavericks should win. But then again, Ty Lue always finds a way to make it difficult for the Mavericks. But I think this time without a Paul George, they really have an older Harden, a waving the towel, Kawhi Leonard, and I don't know who else they got.
They got Derrick Jones Jr. Come on now.
Oh yeah, I was being funny.
Yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr. He's gonna light it up, know. But I think the Mavericks should easily win both of those games. I don't think the Clippers even make or sniff the playoffs next season.
No, I think next year we're really going to see the Clippers for who they really are. And
Yeah.
out of their 4 that they had of Paul George, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and Kawhi Leonard, Paul George was by far their most reliable player. Maybe not the best, maybe not, their X factor to win games. He's their most reliable, right? When Kawhi's hurt, there's still Paul George. When Russell Westbrook is getting ejected, there's still Paul George. When James Harden can't hit any shot, there's still Paul George, right? Maybe not the best player, but he was the most consistent player, most reliable. He's not there anymore. So I think they lost more than what they got back. So yeah, both games, I'm racking them both as just 2 dubs in Dallas, a little early Christmas present for us, right? And then the next game, we go back
if you were to lose a Norman Powell led Clippers team, then wrap this season up. But yeah, on the Portland.
But yes, I mean, I like Norman Powell. I think he's great for them off the bench. I feel like, man, if we were able to get him somehow this summer, I wouldn't be too mad at that. But yeah, no, we beat them. But next, Portland, again, rest some players, and we can still beat them. I say this is a game that you let a few of the deep bench guys get some run, right?
You let Sharp play?
Those, yeah. Put Sharp up against DeAndre Ayton. Go ahead. Go put Max in there, too. Put him in the starting lineup.
You got 6 fouls. Go earn them.
Get him. Get him. Do whatever you want. I don't really care. Shoot, Dwight Powell maybe get some minutes. I don't care. Marquise Morris, you may not even be on the roster. Go out there. It's fine. But
10-day contract.
Exactly. So first 25 games, we are predicting a 21-4 record.
That's insane. I mean, it sounds doable.
It does.
By looking at the roster.
Right.
I think there's gonna be like a variance of so we got him at 4 losses. I think the variance should be like plus 4 potentially on that. On the L bracket, but if we're being all right, we're looking at on paper, looking at what this team is trying to do this upcoming season, 21-4 is doable based on this current schedule right now. To
Yeah.
be completely honest.
In the first 25 games, even though we had the third strongest schedule to start the season, right? In the
Did we?
first, yeah,
Mm.
in the first 25 games, I find it very hard to believe we will lose 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I agree. I
get
agree.
give or take 2 to 4 games on the L column, like you said. Yeah, sure, but we're not losing 10 or more games in the first 25. There's no way. There's no way. Not with
Now,
this roster.
at what point do you throw in the Jason Kidd element? Like, are we gonna put too much value on the Jason Kidd element, or are we gonna say Jason Kidd has learned from his situations and he knows what he's doing moving forward now? Like, where are we at? Because if we're getting the first game, 20 games, Jason Kidd, then I might have some apprehension. But if we're getting playoffs, Jason Kidd, then I feel better about the 21-4. I just always think he's the X factor.
So I think I'm gonna have to give you a little twofold answer. Assuming things go right, we're at 21-4. If we're throwing in those variables of Jason Kidd, that's where you put the extra 2 to 4 losses possibly. And I only say that not saying Jason Kidd will be the reason, but getting used to this roster. Like I've said before, if Klay Thompson isn't playing well, or if it becomes apparent that Klay Thompson should come off the bench, will Jason Kidd actually do it? Will Jason Kidd actually be able to make the tough decisions for this roster? I feel like we can all agree that this is going to be a very important year for Jason Kidd as a coach. You have all the talent, all the pieces. You have to know how to use them. Not saying he hasn't been able to use them before. He's done a lot with less. And so far, he's done a lot with less. And we all know that he is, in my opinion, he's a much better coach in the playoffs than he is in the regular season. At times, right? But I think if we throw in the Jason Kidd element, that's where you add 2 to 4 extra losses. That could just be done to poor, out of bounds plays in the last second of a game, injuries, not knowing who to put in. Because it wasn't until Josh Green got injured that we put in Derrick Jones Jr. and realized, oh, this actually works, right? So those nuances of what you know versus what you don't know as a head coach, 2 to 4 games of a loss differential could be attributed to Jason Kidd. But even then, I don't think we lose 10 games in the first 25 games. And it would have to be an act of God. It would have to be an act of God. Luka would have to wake up and then, like Space Jam, he touched somebody's just dirty basketball and all of his talent got zapped. I don't know. Like, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
If you're 15-10 after the first 25, something's going wrong.
Yes, especially with this roster, you need to look at who needs less minutes and who might need more minutes. Maybe we go to Maxey too much, and maybe that's why. Or maybe we're still trying to make Dante Exum work, and we need to put in Spencer Dinwiddie for Dante Exum. So it's like the growing pains of this roster and how it looks now could be attributed to that. But that's the first 25. Yeah. After that Portland game, we have our Christmas game up against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Hot take. Bing, 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 bing.
Let me hear it.
This was the worst game we could have had for Christmas. The worst opponent. Why did we get the Timberwolves? Why?
I wanted the Thunder.
Yeah, I wanted the Thunder.
I wanted the Thunder on Christmas. No, I don't want the Celtics for Christmas. No, because either it could be a great Christmas for me, or it could be a depressing Christmas for me. At least with the Thunder, if I lose the Thunder on Christmas, I'm like, you know what? It's to be expected. They're good. They're a good team. But it would mean so much more if we beat them on Christmas. It would be demoralizing. But Celtics, I don't want to see them. I think the Thunder would have been a great matchup for us on Christmas. But I'm just glad that we have a Christmas game in general. But seeing the Timberwolves. They lost not Chris Anderson. They lost Kyle Anderson. He's gone, and he actually looked pretty good against us in the playoffs, getting those easy just floaters, just going straight to the basket, just down the middle. Like they don't have that anymore, right? Slow-mo. But I never in my life believed in Rudy Gobert. Never. He's not real. He doesn't exist. He's everybody's imaginary friend. Who is Rudy Gobert? I've never seen him. If he can score 10 points, maybe I'll believe he exists, right? But no, I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about